Hey guys, and welcome back to COD Robo, and today I'll be taking a look at March's best loadouts that I recommend using with the best builds. There are some unexpected ones in here that I didn't think would make it, so without further ado, like, comment and subscribe, and let's just get straight into the video. Okay, so number one, we have a class that I didn't think would make the top spot, but it has, which is of course the AUG and the far Mac 10 as your secondary, either or. Now the reason I say the AUG is because it's really grown on me, to be honest, because the M16 used to be the meta, but the nerf and the buff to the AUG has now made this replace it, and it's a pretty top tier gun which has been said to be broken by jgod, Benny Central and the likes. So do you know, I would recommend using this, the pros recommend you use this, so it's great. Okay, so here's the build that I use on screen with my AUG. I use this reticle as well with the axial arms 3 times, not just the base one, because I just prefer the looks of it. Now for your far Mac 10, you're going to want to use an iron sight build for your far, or this updated build for the Mac 10. It's very important you have this Mac 10 if you're going to use it, because it's a lot higher mobility and a lot better in general. So make sure you have this build here, and the same for your far, because you want to make sure that's a good build as well with the updated barrel. Without further ado, let's get into number 2. Okay, so at number 2 we have the AMAX and the Mac 10, fairly standard class. AMAX has been overpowered since day one, since it's been released, never been nerfed, never been changed. This is a all-round great gun. I would recommend using it. Mac 10, of course, since season 1, we've all loved it, we've all used it, we all probably still do use it, and so you know I'd use it. Probably not the far for this class because of how that the AMAX is quite short to medium range, not very good at long range, but you know, if you really are loving the far, go ahead and add it. Same build as before, it's a great gun. So without further delay, let's just get into number 3. Okay, so I'd say this is probably on par with number 2, joint second, because the Kar98 recently has been a very powerful, aggressive sniper. My friends have been using it, we've got some great dubs over the past few days, so I'm going to recommend that you use the AMAX or the far as your sniper secondary with your Kar98. Kar98 build hasn't really changed, so this is the build that I'm currently using, as well as the same with the AMAX and the far. Make sure for the far you use the iron sight build, so because it's a sniper secondary. So yeah, make sure you got these builds on screen. It's a great class. Okay, so at number 4 we have the AMAX and the far again, with the SPR this time. Now the SPR, since it was released like the AMAX, has been the best of the best long range snipers. Basically the same bullet velocity as the HDR. It's a great sniper, I love using it, that sound is so satisfying. If you've never used it, you've got to give it a go. If you don't want to be as aggressive as the Kar98, you want to sit back while your team pushes, get those long range snipes and they can go and get your finishes, this is for you. So of course you're going to use the same builds with the AMAX and the far, and the SPR builders on screen here. So number 5, I'm going to bring a classic gun to the table, which is of course the Grau. Now the reason this is still hanging around is because not every player is confident with the AMAX's recoil, and not every player likes the AUG, because of the fact it's a burst weapon. And in fact some of my mates still do use the Grau, so it is still a very good gun. Now you're going to want to use this build on screen here with the VLK optic. You're going to make sure that you're using the VLK optic because everyone else is using it as well, so you want to make sure that you are not disadvantaged by using the iron sights, and make sure you pair this with your far or your Mac 10 again, using the same builds as in number 1, number 3, number 4, etc, etc. You're going to slap with this. Now it's always important to have at least one class, which is a ghost fully loaded class for the end zone. And now what I'm going to suggest for this particular one is the Grau, mainly because it has such a low recoil and it's so easy to control. It'll still be good to use even once you've got rid of one of those attachments. So I'll probably suggest that you get rid of the Commando foregrip instead, keep the 60-round mag and whack on that fully loaded so you have the VLK, and you're going to pair this with either a Strela P or a fully loaded pistol for that light ammo, and you're going to be good to go. You can choose between the Strela and the pistol depending if you think you're going to pick up a Mac from the floor. If you are, then go ahead and do so. And if you're not sure, you can make 2 classes just so you can switch between them. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you've used any of the builds in this video, tell me down below in the comments, as well as leaving a like. It greatly helps the algorithm and I'll be interested to see what you've used. If you have any questions, of course, tell me down below. Try to respond to as many as possible. That's all from me. Like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.